Well, it's a very, I mean, it's not for the money, because it's a very low budget film, but I always like working with new people and, it's a young film, it's a vibrant film, and it's a young cast, which is really nice. And also I get to work with Rehan Sheikh again, who's an old friend. But it's a very exciting script, and so yeah, I was excited about being on board with this new team. Manchester's a great city. I've worked in Manchester before, so it was great to be in Manchester, and it's interesting with a character like this. I get to play everyone's father. But it's also a very meaningful father-son relationship. Although it's about the criminal underworld, there's this lovely father-son story in there. Um, and the father's no angel.
Okay.
He also has a history, which is not explored in this film. Maybe one day it will get explored in another film. But you have to find the emotional hook in all of these jobs, and one of these with Apnas, it's really about the moral aspect of doing the right thing. And the son, played by James Greeny, he's really conflicted between right and wrong. And that's an interesting family story to share. It is morally grey. And what when things are morally grey, they're more interesting
Okay.
in storytelling terms. And if things were just black and white, good and bad, it would be a very boring film. Um, so to navigate that, you have to have a certain subtlety, I guess. You can't be, the father isn't the character I played isn't completely good. He's, he's not completely bad either.
Mhm.
There are times when he's funny, but he's got his own problems. And so what it really reflects is a certain section of society, especially in the South Asian community, which are just trying to survive, just trying to get through the day and survive, and get home to their family. That's what makes it interesting. I do a lot of independent films. Um, I do. Work is work. You do big budget movies and you do low budget movies. I enjoy the work that I do,
Okay.
and if I find a script or a character or a director or a team of people that I want to work with, as long as I have the right reason for it, I'll do it. You know, there's no reason to just do big budget movies or big budget TV. That's nice. It's nice to be paid.
Okay.
But also, I like telling stories and I like interesting people. So, um, low budget movies, you're doing it because you're really passionate about it, not because you're going to get rich. Personally, I think the progress is still slow. I have to be honest about this because You know, I've been a professional actor in the UK for 32 years.
Okay.
Um, and you know, unless you make your own stuff, it's very hard to get leading roles
Okay.
in the UK. Or roles that are interesting,
Okay.
that are not just a box ticking exercise. Um, and you have some great young filmmakers and writers and directors and actors making their own thing. And that's really what it comes down to, is that if you want to really explore storytelling and be free, and creativity should be free, right? Creativity should have no limits. Um, so it shouldn't be about the color of your skin. It shouldn't be about your religion, whether you're Hindu, Muslim, or Sikh. It's nothing to do with that. True creativity is breaking boundaries. And the only way to do that, it seems, is to fund it yourself and find your own team of people that are equally passionate and make it yourself. And sadly, in the mainstream, I don't find that things have moved on that much. Having said that, I am lucky enough to have played some nice parts in some things, some interesting projects on mainstream British TV and film. I don't know if it's changed the roles, but it's certainly empowered. Streaming has empowered filmmakers and storytellers to make it cheaply. You know, you can shoot things now on on an iPhone, and you can edit it at home on your computer, and then you can put it out there on YouTube, and you don't need to go to production companies and big money people and things like that. And it's very empowering. And I guess the more platforms there are to share your stories, the more chances there are for people to watch them. We live in a very different culture now. Uh, I'm still of the culture that used film uh, and actually used celluloid back in the day. And now it's digital. It's all done on one of these now. You can all you need is an SD card, and you can shoot away. And so I find it positive and exciting with all the platforms available. Well, I had imposter syndrome. I I thought there was a mistake at first, but I thought, in fact, it was Eastern Eye. It was somebody from Eastern Eye that contacted me and said, "Congratulations on your making the honors list."
Okay.
I got a text, and I was like, "What honors list? What are you talking about? I don't I don't know what you're talking about. What honors list?" And weirdly, I thought it was a short list for something. I had or a long list to get to the short list. So I kind of didn't think much about it on day when I heard the news. Eventually, having spoken to some friends, they were like, "No, no, 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 you're getting an OBE." So suddenly I had a big shock.
Okay.
And it was a great honor. My, unfortunately, my dad had passed away
Okay.
some months before, so it was a very painful time. I was grieving, and it would have been lovely to take him to, Windsor Castle and, get the medal and just share it with my dad. Um, he would have been very proud. The South Asian father in me
Okay.
will always say, "Have a plan B.
Okay.
Get a degree in something." That's the sensible thing to do.
Okay.
Uh, because I'm a dad and I'm South Asian. We value education a lot. It's a very, very tough industry to survive, and I've survived. There's been good times and bad times. There's been long bouts of unemployment, and then there's been, some amazing jobs and me working with some incredible people, and I'm blessed for that. But you have to really want to tell stories, and you've got to be passionate about it. And the one thing that I would always advise young people is to live a bit, go out and experience life, do things that are uncomfortable, go and the more people you meet, the more things you try, the more you're going to grow as an actor and as a storyteller. I have in my life experienced some amazing things which are nothing to do with acting, but they've made me grow as a human being, which then goes into the storytelling. It then goes into the acting. So you have to be excited by life. You've got to read books. You've got to go to art galleries. You've got to engage your emotions in life. Be excited by life. Be excited by the sun and the trees and the seasons. Well, that lovely time with autumn when it gets suddenly changes season. As creative people, you've got to be able to be excited by those small details. And for young people going into the industry, keep those things alive, whether you're going to be an actor or not. Keep those things alive in you because you will also be a better human being at the end of it.